Thank you very much for coming to this session on TV Connect. Just as a background, Jeremy is my former colleague in PCCW. He's also our customer today, so we're very happy to see that TM is very successful in terms of delivering their IPTV and in this case hybrid TV service to the marketplace. You know, I always say that our customer success is also Huawei success, and as I said, it's very encouraging to see his subscribers growing rapidly. I spent 16 years with telco, HKT and PCCW, so I went through the period of where, in this case, HKT launched the first VOD service in 1998, and PCCW launched the first IPTV service in 2003. So I can speak somewhat on in terms of the development of the IP video service. But what I see is that things have changed rapidly over the past 3 years. Things have changed because of the technology of streaming video and the arrival of OTT players. And today what I want to do is share with you some of the things in terms of what operators are trying to do to monetize IP video in light of the competition they're facing from OTT players. And as Jerry mentioned, content is very expensive, but there are other ways of making money through the service. So just a few slides to start off. Global online video viewers will reach 1.6 billion in 2018. This is a Park Associates forecast, generating some 40 billion US dollar in revenue. So that's a very huge number. One evidence of that is that the Winter Olympics in 2014 in Sochi, Russia, in fact, NBC live extra streaming saw a tremendous increase in terms of growth of download in terms of the live sports events, as well as the peak traffic for some of the ice hockey games reached a very high level, 2.5 terabits with 186% growth. So it is happening. So this is evidence to support the forecast on the first slide. But this is an interesting one, is that why are we seeing so much online video viewing? Is because of the mobile connected devices. And the slide basically showed that back in 2005, when people would stand in front of, in St. Peter's Square, looking at the Pope, there are hardly any smartphones. In 2013, that's a slide. The picture is very different. People take out their smartphones, their tablets, trying to take a picture of the Pope. So really, it's only going to be more and more of this type of consumer behavior. And one news today I saw it online is the fact that Yahoo is also getting into content production. Yahoo will be getting into producing 2 comedy series. Couple of Microsoft is already doing sci-fi. Amazon is tied up with HBO. So you can see a lot of these players now are going the OTT way in terms of driving up online video usage by their users, and I can only forecast that the explosive growth will take place. So with that in mind, then, what is IP video everywhere as we look at it from a service standpoint? I think the key is that we're looking at a unified platform for both video and apps as far as storage. In this case, storage is not part of the service. It is part of the storage service for user-generated content, but it's really not only the big screen, but it's also all the mobile device, connected devices from PC to the different smartphones, also game consoles. But it's also about content aggregation. It's about bringing apps to the users in addition to premium content. It's about home cloud. It's about follow me TV in terms of if you're in the home, can you place shift between a smartphone and the big screen TV in terms of watching the same movie. And of course, TV everywhere, anytime, any device. So here's a slide. Maybe it's a little bit busy, but basically we moved over the past, I think, 10 years. We moved from the traditional TV service that deliver interactive capability IPTV, VOD services, to now multi-screen TV. And then, of course, the next thing is the internet on TV, and of course, we already have it in the smart TV devices. And then lastly, the LTE broadcast that's already talked about over these past 2 days. But some of the innovative service approaches really try to use the different devices to watch the video in a way that gives you good user experience. And I'll talk a bit about that. This is actually a very old slide. It's sourced out of PCCW. And I think making money is also having your service differentiation. If you look at this slide, you can see a lot of service being offered. VOD service, which is standard now, online shopping, which is standard. You have gaming, which is the TV apps coming. You have online banking. You have multi-screen. You have TV betting. You have targeted advertising or addressable advertising. You have ticketing, etc. So this is an old slide. This is almost 8 years old. But in terms of monetizing IP video everywhere, you can take all of these services onto your platform, onto the different connected device in terms of making money. It may not make you big money like your premium selling your premium content on a live or on an on-demand basis. But this is something to think about. The other aspect of IP video everywhere is to deliver exceptional user experience. And in Huawei, we have a user-centric design team. And I think what we've done now, if you go to the demo that we have outside, we can show you the fact that we can aggregate content. And the key is bringing internet content to the TV set. We can do a seamless transfer in terms of the video between the different devices. We can also bring an EPG that actually aggregate the different content, the traditional broadcast content, the on-demand content, the internet content. We have a unified search engine for multiple service provider, and in this case, a lot of it, I think the innovation comes from the standpoint that you can do a voice command. For example, if you want to find a movie like Sherlock Holmes, all you need to speak to it, and they'll find Sherlock Holmes from the different service provider that you've already aggregated onto your platform, and you can choose which one you want, which service provider will in terms of delivering that particular movie. And lastly, I think for user experience, I think the big issue now is that with the abundance of content that you have coming into your TV set or your smartphones or tablets, is that now, how do you find the content that you really want to watch? And it's all about personalization and recommendation. And the fact that if you look at Netflix has about 19 screenshots that actually recommend movies or TV shows to you in different ways. So to allow you to search or find the content that's most suitable to you in terms of how you want to spend the 2 hours watching the video. The other aspect of IP video everywhere is really, I think nowadays we're moving away from the traditional text type EPG now to a very more elegant user interface. And this is one, if you look at the one on the left-hand side, you can see that it's already identifying that there's a traditional TV content, there's a video on-demand service, there's the app service, there's the shopping, etc. So you can see the fact that if you go into this EPG, the first EPG, you can select where you watch the content, and in fact on the opposite side, then of course you have the YouTube type, the apps type of content that's also made available. So this is a type of interface that I think will deliver the type of user experience that's important in order to create that customer stickiness. One aspect of IP video everywhere in terms of monetization is that I don't want to leave out is advertising. I think it is definitely there. I think there's a tremendous growth in terms of media spend for multi-screen services, and there's some quotes here by a couple of reports. On your left-hand side, you can also see how China Telecom is monetizing advertising in terms of the charging the type of, for example, moving banner ad insert will command less revenue from the advertiser than the traditional VOD front page ad. So this is something that needs to be considered. And as we move into IP video everywhere in terms of the capability, then as I said earlier, I think addressable advertising will become more important because it lends high efficiency to the advertiser in terms of target ads, in terms of to what the users want. And there's an aspect in terms of doing that is that how do you know what type of ad to push to the users? Now, so you have to be able to go into the analytics to find out what the users are keen to watch in terms of type of content. I mentioned about TV apps as part of that overall offering. I think this is important. In the China market, and this is a reference to China Telecom, in the China market, the ARPU for IPTV service is actually very low because the competition cable is $25, $30 per month in this case. And we not talking about $25, $30 US, we talk about $25, $30 local currency. So China Telecom sells IPTV service on a bundle basis, but that's not really making money for them. So they move to apps. They move to apps. And in this case, they deliver apps in terms of karaoke service, game, education apps. And because of the size of market that they have, and this one, China Telecom Guangdong has 1.8 million users of their TV apps. And the apps could be $1 US per month. It could be a children education apps, a game, right? So they can generate enough revenue, and in this case, because of the TV side being low ARPU, the TV apps revenue could almost represent 15% of the total revenue capture because simply of the size, the scale. But it is a revenue opportunity in this case. So if you have a unified platform that can deliver both content, traditional video content, and TV apps, that's what you want to go after. Right. The other aspect, I think, in terms of making money from IP video everywhere is that one on your left-hand side is basically a third-party company, I guess, buying a channel from the operator and delivering, delivering video conference service. And on your right-hand side is the operator delivering the capability of increasing the bandwidth so you can watch movies, moving it from SD to HD quality and paying for that service on an instant basis at the time when you want to watch the movie. So those are innovation features that I think in terms of how to capture more revenue that you need to consider. So let me pull up this slide. Okay. A lot of operators launch service and they don't really look into how the service is being utilized by the subscribers. And because this is actually revenue that you can find in your existing operation by understanding what your subscribed customers are watching, when are they watching it, and being able to monetize this. It's the analytics that not only help you understand your customers' behavior, but also can bring in the advertiser to address the target advertising for your customers. But what it takes is that because we only have one sign-on for family, for home, then what it takes is that it may take personal authentication as you sign on for the video service. And in this case, Belgacom in Europe has already launched an opt-in service where if you're a user for their service and you do not mind having your information captured in this way, you can have your own personal authentication for the TV service. And in this way, Belgacom can actually build out a personal a personal channel list for that particular viewers or personal type content list in terms for that particular viewers, which is, again, information that you can actually monetize in many ways. So look into the data that's already made available from your operating support system or your boss or your business operating support system, and look for ways of really understanding your consumer behavior and find ways to monetize that. So the last, this is another slide. I'm getting to the last couple of slides now. I have 3 more slides. Another way of finding more money is to be able to wholesale service. I'm not sure whether Jeremy actually has done this. I think most likely he has offered this platform to content providers. But if you have a platform already, aside from, in this case, let's say providing service for your own users, you can start providing that platform as a service to other ISPs or other CPs, and in this case also generate revenue. PCCW actually did this back almost 10 years ago when they offer a channel on a carriage fee basis to the local free-to-air broadcaster, TVB, right? And this is how they, this was back in 10 years ago. But in today's term, I think this is something that certainly needs to be considered. So lastly, smart home. I think the key seller is home surveillance, and it is IP video everywhere. You can watch what's happening in your house, in your apartment, through your mobile devices. Being away from your house. I think this is still the key seller. We talk about smart home in terms of energy management. We talk about smart home in terms of video control. But I think the key seller is still the home surveillance space across on a global basis. So last slide, driving IP video subscriber and revenue growth through IP video everywhere. I think consider OTT service because it is a much easier way to start off a video service, and because it's streaming video and you don't have to depend as much on the quality of your network unless you have a fiber network like TM. Then you move to bring hybrid TV on board, and I think clearly what the Korean Telecom this morning mentioned is that actually has fueled their growth in terms of subscribers because they have hybrid TV offering, DVB-S plus VOD plus web TV in this case. You need to look at how to offset your content costs through white labeling. You need to look at in terms of bringing in TV apps as part of the service because that you can capture a different audience for that. User interface is extremely important. You need to provide the user interface to allow for easy content search and recommendation. And lastly, I think the market reach in terms of opening up your platform to third party on a wholesale basis or even offering on hosted service basis. When I say to people from a consumer standpoint, if I'm a consumer buying TV service, I want the content that I want to watch. I want to pay for it at the right price. And thirdly, I want the best user experience. And I want it across all the different devices that I will be able to use to watch video. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted. I'd like to open the floor to questions for Ted at this stage. Anyone? One from me then quickly, Ted. So there was an interesting slide you had there on China Telecom and some examples on some of the OTT things they've been trying. One was putting voice as an OTT service, to call it that, using video conferencing, which is interesting. Right. And the other was, of course, on providing you an option of SD or HD content. Now, presumably that's part platform and part stream choice. It's from a consumer perspective. Are these some things you see which are in say more developing markets an interesting opportunity?
I would think the second one, where you can actually increase the bandwidth, is one that a lot of the operators in the developed market is actually very interested because this is instant revenue. So So it's really not offering, well, the consumer in this case perhaps will be subscribing to a certain bandwidth, whether it's on the big screen or on the mobile connected device. But the fact is that if he select a very popular movie, like Transformers, for example, suddenly he has an urge to watch it in HD. So how do you facilitate that? Is by offering this bandwidth service at a small nominal charge to bring that user experience up to a different level, right? So we talked to operators in Western Europe. A lot of them are interested in this feature, both mobile operators as well as fixed telecom operators. Right?